afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, amazing Propagandacast. Me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda. Yours truly, the one and only. All fair to 1 vs 1 on Vilshanka. In the west, it is 3imWeckla fighting for king and country, the Commonwealth. Rolling out here with the Guards Armored Division West, it is Jimmy here, the CoH2 CEO, fighting for the Commandos, Deutschland. Rolling out here with the 12th SS Panzerdivision Hitlerjugend. We got Elite Armored Immediately Chosen Triple Infantry versus Royal Artillery. Then Elite and Vanguard operations with Grenade and Double Infantry. And we got a double section start there versus Volksgrenadier and Sturmpioniere, leading the way to a better German future, if it gets there at all. With 3imWeckla, of course, leading to defend the British Empire against all that which may encroach upon it. From outside, anyways. Because on the way there for 3imWeckla, because machine guns are going to become a bit more part of it, as they can't rely on the infantry section to just deal with everything now. More focus there for not for 3imWeckla, but Jimmy. There we go, Bart Warp as well. Probably going to wire off this entirely, so his opponent can't even move towards the fuel point here without taking a longer move. We're having to vault specifically, so this slightly messes things up in terms of like the overall management required. A sneaky move there, and one we actually don't see a lot of here. Of course, it does help with, for example, the Oberkreuzer's Bart Wire. It also blocks light vehicles, so it has slightly more utility there as well. Fulton sitting out there, so we got Jimmy there pushing northward still with more Volksgrenadiers. In the south, 3imWeckla's forces continue to press onwards. And as always, please remember to like, subscribe, and press that bell button. And share, of course, so, you know, there's more likely to see my videos. And you are, of course, also more likely to see my videos due to how YouTube's algorithms always seem to work in a slightly esoteric manner. Universal careful out for 3imWeckla. Section standing about there so far. Both sides pushing ahead. We got the Vickers machine gun there ready. World War I era vintage. The Vaxxer machine, of course, while also British, they did not actually use in World War I. They used the Vickers, which I believe was a slightly improved version, though. There were a lot of other army that used the Maxim back then. For example, the German army and the Russian army. In fact, the Russians, or the Soviets, also used that same World War I era Maxim. Anyways, try on the way there for Jimmy. Very early truck there. Triple Volksgrenadiers only into Sturmpanzer into the truck there. Moving to the northern victory point, sandbags up there, section pushing northwards or southwards aggressively, going to threaten the fuel pump again. The Bart Wire just makes it slightly tricky, and also means, for example, if he does get caught, has to retreat, he's going to have to take a longer retreat path, meaning effectively Jimmy here has more chance of punishing him for then trying to go for it. So there's some logic there to how he's doing it. Universal coming out there, going for the curve on there, bold aggressive plate. The northeast section caught there, out in the open, and they neatly suffer losses as Jeremy drops dead. Truck moving out. Will be Battle Group headquarters, will be mechanized. I mean, considering the overall early move of it, of course it's just going for it because he wants the 2-2-1 out, because you need the truck out there, so of course that's why I did it. I'm still not used to a lot of players going for Elite Armored, but there definitely seems to be an increase in Oberkommandos metagame lately that's still just going for it. I think in part because they're all realizing, hang on, the 2-2-1 is actually kind of good, and the 2-2-3 as well. We got the Vickers there being caught by the Foxes trying to reposition. We got the University ready over the Vickers K. Gonna open up on those krauts up close. Those dastardly hands. Jerry's boogeymen. Foxes moving in there. 2-1 almost down there. Vickers pushed away though. Of course, there's still the Vickers K. Troops saying northwards there to occupy the church in the name of Deutschland. In the south, he's standing on watch. He knows where the Sturmpanzer is. And he also knows if he tried to go for the fuel point, it could turn a bit sour. Got the 2-1 out there though for Jimmy and for Deutschland. Fox on watch, trying to just buy time there, not here. We got Fox versus section there. Sappers following up there for 3imWeckla. Sturmpioniere versus section. That's going to be a win there for the section. The Sturmpioniere simply are not close enough. Plus, heavy cover versus light cover. This is very much going to be a win there for the infantry section. The Sturmpioniers will be bled out. And now Jimmy's going for another Volksgrenadier squad. We got the 2-1 southwards there. Sturmpioniers now basically just acting as a time waster to bring in the 2-1 there to get some hits there on the section and rout them. Bold play there. Not bold really. By Jimmy there. It's efficient now. Vickers retreating again, very low on health there. He's going to need someone with some healing there to patch that one up. We can see that Jimmy just continues to run around in circles here around 3imWeckla's Universal Carrier. And there we go. Folks in the north, pushed by section, almost wiped out as well. A lot of 3imWeckla's forces are rather harried and haggard at the moment, low on health, and could easily risk being wiped here by Jimmy in with a 2-1 in Infantry, and that looks like in fact what he could just do here. We got the University of the Moon, and almost looks like he blocked the path of the 2-1, but it's not quite what's happening there. And there we go, low health section, Sabswing up with the anti-tank grenades. Gonna pop one there on the 2-1, and close save there, close shave, and now the 2-1 Mac trouble. There we go, the University takes it out, a blow there to Jimmy in the early game as one armoured car well, less than spontaneously combusts. Being shot at really does not count as spontaneously. Otherwise, I think World War II would be one of the more severe cases of spontaneous combustion. Anyways, folks are there versus the Universal Carrier. We got halfway there to Veteran C2 and also halfway to Distraction of the Universal Carrier. That is, need to be careful not to close. He obviously doesn't know where Jimmy is in terms of tech, but he still needs a man for Pantherfaust. And interesting enough, Jimmy is actually coming into another 2-1, which is delaying his tech, but it certainly indicates how much value he's putting in that 2-1 on that scout car, which is certainly interesting to note. Away, loads of infantry, the truck just standing about. The driver having himself a nice time with his buddy. I'm not entirely sure why they need 2 guys to drive that one, by the way. Seems a bit inefficient. Because they're being flanked, we've got the Universal Carrier there to the rescue. All the way, 2-1, of course, delays track, and of course delays Pantherfaust. So, I mean, that's actually pretty good news there for 3imWeckla. Folks are in a bit of trouble as they run into 2 sections, taking a lot of damage, and the Universal Carrier, I think, is going to be the death knell here, punishing Jimmy for extending the full grenadiers and slamming them into the ground. Up north here, folks caught with the Vickers, suppressed sandbags up here the northern fuel point as he tries to disrupt 3imWeckla's fueling cup. Very good, and we got the second 2-1 out. Ready for some motorized mayhem against the Inselaffen. Another section out there for 3imWeckla. More infantry. Still no sign of a doctor here though from 3imWeckla. He remains a bit cagey in that department, if you will. He's not showing his hand. 2-1, they're doing what they can up north here. The Mercer having at it. And of course, with the 2-1, he has a reasonable idea that his opponent hasn't immediately tagged up. This he doesn't have to immediately worry about Pantherfausts, but he obviously knows he can't keep doing that forever either. But 2-1 that gets away, heavily damaged, but Betsy to inoperable, and there goes Sappers rush away the full grenadiers. There's going to be a close one there. It's going to need more troops up there. And the South got the 2-1 there finally against the section. Lots of intense action in the early game between these 2 veteran players. Troops are reinforcing, healing, and I imagine the Universal is going to see some repairs. Up here, skirmishing continues. In the south, 2-1. Proving to be a nuisance there for 3imWeckla, though he's doing some damage there to it. Mechanized, and of course, other means to look to Puma here from Jimmy. So considering Elite Armoured, Puma definitely seems likely, plus he's up against the British, and AC, of course, is also very likely, so a Puma just to basically sort of see that one off makes a lot of sense. Plus, I mean, with heat rounds, he can also reasonably effective fight a lot of early medium armor there from 3imWeckla and the Guards Armoured Division. Troops heading out, they're fixing up the Universal Carrier. Seizing the southern munitions once more. No sign of the AC, I believe he has requisitioned it, so you can just, press the button and call it in. Section Masters Fulton is there, slowly pushing ahead. We can see there a lot of Jimmy's infantry has been pushed back, and of course the 2-1 is in need of repairs. The Museum Pioneers are about the front line, that means it's not going to be returning anytime soon. Up here, skirmish. As 3imWeckla pours more troops in to form up a armoured wedge, well, slightly armoured wedge, to strike at the heart of Jimmy's infrastructure. Go for the cop on there, cutting off his fuel point. A bold move there, and there you go. Got the 234-2, aka the Puma, for Jimmy on the way. And of course, there you go. Vickers not set up for dealing with the flanking Sturm Pioneer. Still getting some hits in there with the support gunners, and of course, the section nearby. Still going to have to retreat the Vickers there. Finally continues around here. Sappers pushing away those dastardly Jers. Grab the southern point here. Folks are there on watch by the cuff point, and we got Vanguard. We got a glider. Hello. Not something you see very often there. But then again, the British are really going to, of course, have to change up the strategy since they can't just rely on the infantry sections being, bulletproof anymore. In that regard, perhaps more emphasis, Commandos for some of those, doctrines that actually offer some pretty good abilities for units. Could be an idea. Either way, we got the logistics slider out there. We got the air landing officer. Pretty solid unit. Of course, you can then call in more Commandos to add more pressure here to Jimmy. Mines scratch there. Close one there. Puma almost hit the Universal Carrier. Sing hit though goes through. Also note he's using the logistics slider as a fort reinforcement point as well, though he's not setting up for fort retreat point, which I think is a good move. But I'll ensure he can just reinforce troops, giving him a bit more front line durability. Very good there. Not a lot of players, of course, are aware of this or use it like that, but it is something you can actually use it as. So thumbs up there to 3imWeckla. Section here, then a bit of trouble, need to retreat though, and there's a good chance here that he does end up losing the section. Should have pulled it back sooner. Also, his final ground back in the northern fuel point. He definitely needs a bit more on point there with fuel, and there goes section wiped out. Pushes luck a bit too far there, and that's going to be a bit costly, to put it mildly. Of course, he doesn't have the air landing officer with the silent stem guns, which is a fun fact. Had a bit of canvas wrapped around the barrel because they actually grew so hot that you couldn't actually hold them without burning your fingers. So they sort of added canvas to sort of wrap around it to make it possible to actually hold the submachine gun, because they grew very hot. That also meant you could also really just fire them in like full bursts for long before they just burn themselves out. So a few fun facts there. Trench they attempted, but disrupted. We got sappers of the Piets. No anti-tank guns worth noting here from 3imWeckla, and no AC Mach 3 either, which does make his tech then a bit curious. Also got the 221 upgrade to the 223, and it looks like he is going to set up in the fuel point there, which of course is going to give him much more fuel here versus 3imWeckla. A very good move there. Not one you see a lot of times, but I mean, being able to double your fuel point and thusly give yourself a notable increase in resources is pretty good. PX landing so hits on the Puma, doing some heavy damage in the south here. Sections and Vic is there, pushing back the full screens, release the Vic, soon will be joining in the fun there. Noting, of course, he's upgraded the air landing officer here with Bren guns, which they can fire on the move, and of course they also get an accuracy bonus to it, so they will do a lot there with the Bren guns. There you go, Sturmpioneers in how far here, this officer and the section there proving to be a formidable force here for the Sturmpioneers, who of course lack firepower range, and versus Bren guns, that's only going to be more a pronounced difference. But there you go, 223 there set up, securing him with more fuel. So that's really going to put some, well, shall we say, boost into Jimmy's resources. Force the flanking up here, make use of the Rec 221 to harm those Inslafen, those Tommies, but they are quickly getting focused down here. Of course, need to be careful, the cover quickly crumbles, and they are under a lot of British scrutiny with British guns. More Piets flying there. Piet is standing for Protector Infantry Anti-Tank. It was a bit of a flawed anti-tank weapon. Designs being really rough on the shoulder due to recoil. It relied on a needle to sort of get things going, and that thing could also get bent, so it was a bit of a fragile weapon in a lot of senses. And was all, I believe, not very popular. And what is this? We actually got raid operation here from 3imWeckla, very good. That's going to allow him to seize points very fast. It is, in that sense, a very good ability. Plus, it actually allows vehicles to grab points as well, though he obviously doesn't have any. He's going for the 6-pounder gun here, very good. We'll have to see what he does next, but you can see that he allows to grab points very fast, very rapidly. If he's not going to go for the EC prop, should be taken up soon. Got another truck out here for Jimmy and the 12th SS Hitlerjugend, which was a division that were more or less sort of roughly finished training by the time of Normandy, was sort of mostly combat operational, although of course lacking in experience except for the cadre of officers and NCOs from the 1st SS Panzer Division, sort of used to sort of form around it. It's a little fun fact there. In fact, that was a common German technique for forming up new divisions. They basically grabbed experienced officers and NCOs from an already existing division and used that to build the division around. Little fun fact there. Puma and straight to the 6-pounder gun, direct hit here, piercing the armor with ease. We got Pierce's one there, the Puma goes down, sadly a bit too slow there. The smokescreen ultimately proving to be of absolutely no use against that, due to being too slow. So that's a definite small win there for 3imWeckla. Of course, Jimmy here will be pushing for tanks, that will be a bit slow, but again, the 223 assists him with that. We got medics on there for 3imWeckla, very interesting, kind of allow him of course to further use this as a point as well further, and of course just branch with the healing. So, a bit rare to see them actually going for medics here, but thumbs up there to 3imWeckla for foraging paths which other British players clearly aren't. Need to retreat the section here though, too many Germans on the spot. Obviously moving up north here, could try and set up to flank here on the Sturmpioneers, kind of through a retreat path. He's interested enough not moving in the fuel pond right away, and that's actually something 3imWeckla needs to be careful of, because, I mean, if Jimmy, of course, gets too much of a fuel lead, that can quickly snowball out of control thanks to the 223, so he needs to be mindful of the fuel and, of course, keeping his own fuel intact here versus those dastardly Jerrys. But there you go, medics ready for 3imWeckla. Got the air landing officer on the Sturmpioneer. Could pop a light gun bomb there over the hedges. There you go. Ooh, full wipe in the Sturmpioneers. A nasty blow there to Jimmy's now down to his full skills. In fact, he's going for another Sturm Pioneer squad in the wake of that rather nasty detonation. Either way, good set over there by 3imWeckla, punishing Jimmy there for not being too cautious. South side being opened up. Still no take-up for 3imWeckla. I hope he's not trying to stall here for the Crocodile at the moment. I feel that'd be a bit of a silly move here versus Jimmy. A fast Cromwell right now I think would be quite potent. Even a fast Centaur, really. But we'll never see that actually what he commits to, but a fast Centaur would really be good. Shrap Hunter Quarters up here. He was probably trying to rate the 223 here, but of course the Shrap Hunter Quarters put stopped. I mean, he can still engage with the anti-tank gun. I mean, get 2, and he can probably fire safer from around here and deal with it, which really would put Jim in a bad spot if he did that. Really bad. Which would be great for 3imWeckla, but bad for Jimmy and the Germans. In this regard, this is actually a bit risky. I mean, honestly, what he should have done is actually push into a bit further back here, so it becomes harder for him to just position the anti-tank guns closer to his own territory, just bombard the Shrap Hunted Quarters. But so far, the 3imWeckla is not seizing upon this opportunity to really just cripple Jimmy logistically. Meanwhile, Jimmy's lining up for a big assault through the north. One more assault rifle being handed out to his men to increase their firepower, to make a push that will shatter the British backbone, or at least that's what he hopes. Seizing the southern point again here. Good use, a nice use of raid operation. I'm surprised we're not seeing more Bren guns on all of his other sections. I mean, increasing the overall firepower can bring to bear versus all the German infantry I think would be a really good idea for 3imWeckla. Again, I mean, it's nice to see someone actually make use of abilities like raid operation. I mean, that's a really overlooked one, to be honest. We finally got take up though, and again, he can immediately go here for the Cromley, he could go for the Centaur, either of they would be really good right now, in particular the Centaur. I mean, Jimmy right now has no anti-tank weapon, so a Centaur right now would be really painful.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Commandos sneak about here. I think he's trying to bait them into a close range and then sort of hit them. Sneaky move there. We got the section moving up there as well. But yeah, Cromwell Centaur right now would be, I think, a very potent move there for 3imWeckla and just completely ruin Jimmy. But so far, he is not committing to it, which is a bit noteworthy. Is he planning something else though? I mean, in theory, it's the Comet or the Churchill tank. And certainly a Comet could be nice, but I feel like there's a golden opportunity just to punish his opponent with a fast medium tank of some sort.
Enemy causing trouble.
So I feel like that should just be what he pushes for first. But I mean, again, a Comet could also be really nasty. But it just would be slower by a notable chance. Oh, there we go. Cromwell away there. No, cancels it. Cancels it. Got hammer tactics there, so that means a Comet. That also gives Jimmy the chance to get out of tank first. I mean, 3imWeckla does have anti-tank guns. He does have Piats, so... And obviously, Comet's going to roll over Panzer IV quite easily. But I won't deny this feels a tad risky, considering again Jimmy's been able to successfully disrupt 3imWeckla's fuel. And Jimmy not really... Oh, 3imWeckla's not had quite the same success at disrupting Jimmy's resources. Plus, again, Jimmy's got this. So, I feel like the Comet here is a bit more risky. Like, had the balance been slightly more in favour of 3imWeckla in terms of resources and, you know, disruption, I think this would be a good move. But as it currently stands, I feel like it's pushing his luck a bit much. I mean, still, the Comet is going to roll over the Panzer IV, but the timing there does mean that Jimmy's going to have a chance to maybe sort of roll up more of 3imWeckla's stuff and give more imp and less an impact of a Comet. We'll have to see the Sturm Pioneers again being suppressed, and Watchman grabs the point. He really should just consider mining the point or something. Although we got a Commando squad out here, that certainly increases the complement of Elite Infantry for 3imWeckla. Not just the landing officer, but the Commandos. That's going to be a lot of assault troops that can give Jimmy's infantry a very hard time. But there you go, Panzerkampfwagen 4 as von Jod out, heading the Panzer Commander. And apparently he accidentally pressed the heat rounds ability. That can happen. But it's basically just 45 munitions down the drain, or grenade and a Panzerfaust or something like that. That's going to suck a bit there for Jimmy. But there you go. Go straight here for the jugular of 3imWeckla and the Guards Armored Division. Got this TX though ready, anti-tank, and then we got anti-tank grenades as well. Here we got flank up north as well, anti-tank being cleared out. Good work there though. Really limits the damage into the Panther IV. Got a damage in the Panther IV, but can't really finish it off here immediately due to the need to crew the anti-tank and then get it, going again. Folks up north here, engaged by Commandos and the Vickers, taking some heavy damage in a minor casualty, but nothing further beyond that. Nope, by the way, what Jimmy is doing is he's playing around 3imWeckla's sort of strong point in the center. Like, he's trying to sort of force him to move away from it, and then he hits in the center there. That's over a good move. It punishes 3imWeckla for focusing everything here on the center big point, by again hitting the other more vulnerable resource and victory points there. And that also preserves more resources that way. So, it's a clever move there, I think, by Jimmy. I think it's a clever move. Commandos grabbing the northern victory point. Vickers being lost there to 3imWeckla is not good for him. And it's great wanting to have a forward post to operate from, but if you get too obsessed about it, it can again lead to these situations where your opponent then just grabs everything around it. Panzer IV, though, is going to be a bit out of commission for a while. That's going to give 3imWeckla more time to rectify the situation here. And he is getting close to the Comet. And that Comet will give the Panzer IV a hard time. Filtering through the south here, close to Vilshanka 4. We got the medics there with their pistols and bags of tea. Medics obviously not exactly equipped to deal with folks equipped with assault rifles. Almost got them wiped, in fact. Folks being expressed to the victors. Back in action, got the landing officer doing quite a good work. Got a Brandhand gunner, and he obviously wants the glider out of commission. Got the officer moving here for the car fight. Not a bad move there by 3imWeckla. Very, very close to the Vilshanka 3 there. Panzer IV being repaired up with the Sturm unit. Bit of a tight spot here for 3imWeckla. Need to heal reinforcement. Of course, need to grab more territory. Needs to deny his opponent resource. Of course, build more victory point pressure on him. Stuttgart's a fuss here for Jimmy at this point. Interesting pick, but again, considering once more, 3imWeckla's really bunching up around this glider. I mean, this is very much prime rocket artillery territory. I mean, or any kind of artillery, really. So, I mean, it actually makes a lot of sense, though. He will leave himself vulnerable to the Comet, and of course, that's the backside to this. Though, of course, again, 2 to 3 helps compensate by this, by again providing them more fuel. So he might be able to quickly get up something to help deal with the Panther. But even there's obviously a few risks there that if 3imWeckla pushes the Comet hard enough, it could give Jamie there a bit of indigestion, if you will. Glider, by the way, survives the rocket. In fact, it's barely there. Like, pretty sure the only things that's holding it together is threats made from tea bags and possibly a portrait of the King of England, King George V. Certainly not British engineering, that's for sure. Anyway, troops are being treated with, ambush up north here. Folks are caught in negative cover. Ambushed. Could see a wipe here. That would definitely be great there for 3imWeckla. Obviously, would be horrid for Jimmy as well, but there you go. Almost got them, but not quite. Either way, he can go for the Comet tank now. Commandos routed. There we go. Comet on the way there for 3imWeckla. The premium medium for the British Army. Equipped with a 77mm gun, though. It was technically just a 17-pounder gun, which has used 76 point something millimeters, but because of also taking using the same ammunition but slightly different due to having smaller charges due to low velocity and stuff like that, they had to make sure there weren't any confusion with it logistically, so they called it 77mm to avoid any logistical issues, which is certainly a clever maneuver. Oh wait, Panzer IV setting out there. 3 kills that Panzerkampfwagen 4. Comet halfway down there for 3imWeckla and the British. Officer, by the way, has also bit the dust. In the end, stiff upper lip was nothing against German lead. He can, of course, replace the officer he wants to. With a bit of manpower there. There we go, Comet tank out. Should have the tank commander there, of course, as well. Increased accuracy is always beneficial, of course, line of sight as well. The Comet saw limited action in World War II and really think late 1944-45, I think primarily so with the 11th Armoured Division. Little fun fact there. But it did see some action. But overall I think it was after the war in the Cold War, quickly replaced by another medium tank. I can't quite remember the name of it, I always mess it up. Folks there being blasted by the Comet. Almost getting wiped there in fact already. There we go, another kill there. Fulters routed. Commandos are picking out of nowhere again, trying to get in the wipe there, but they got Fulters fighting carrying fire, just not enough. Panzer IV trying to haul its way out. They almost got the Fulters what they can. They land the killing blow. Looks like not. Looks like not. Jimmy here, of course, might want to consider Jagdpanzer or something else to back up here against the Comet. He could also, I don't know, try and hold out for a Panther. In the south there, points being seized. Comet racing ahead there for 3imWeckla. Oh, could see that Stuttgart's first go down. Ooh, didn't quite do it. And there you go. Panther IV was the Comet. Need to pick up not to push too far there. 3imWeckla. Great on the Panther IV. In the south here, more skirmishing going on as to try to reclaim the southern resource. We've got 320 versus 327. Small lead here for 3imWeckla, but that is quickly vanishing. Very quickly. The Comet once more races ahead like a chariot of war. It goes for Jimmy's retreating infantry, hoping to deliver a sundering blow that will leave Jimmy demoralized and short of men, but not quite there. Some hits in the Schwer Panther course again. We could destroy it before Jimmy has a chance to bring out a Panther, Yak Panther. That'd be great here for 3imWeckla. You might want to bring up a second anti-tank gun to do so more efficiently, but I don't like it. Ooh, heat rounds attempted, but instead takes too much damage. We got artillery called in here though. Good maneuver there by Jimmy. Forces the anti-tank and the sappers away there, and of course the Comet is too damaged to easily pursue, or at least safely pursue the Panther. Well, he could pursue, but there's a good chance of losing it. So there's some intense action here between Jimmy and the 3imWeckla there, the British. There you go, Panzerkampfwagen 5 on the way there for Jimmy, and again that 223 is really just buying him more fuel, which is making it easy for him to go for all of this stuff. And comparatively, due to all the harassment, it's much harder for 3imWeckla to get more resources out for more armor. And he hasn't, say, gone for fuel cache, and even then, like, he'd need 2 fuel cache for him to remotely match the 223, which really just shows how powerful in terms of resource the 223 can actually be as an investment. Like, it's worth 2 fuel caches. In fact, it's worth slightly more than that. That's actually pretty big. Anyway, it's got a fresh officer on the way there for 3imWeckla. Comet good to go. And certainly going for another Comet here, or a Firefly would probably be the best move for 3imWeckla. I mean, either way, he should be expecting more armor to try and tackle the Comet. I think got movement here. Straight ahead again, need to be careful. I mean, he should be starting to anticipate either mines or ambushes or kidnappers or something like that, but he's so far charging in there eagerly. Up north there, troops taking heavy damage. Stukas was again trying to hit there the main line that's set up there by 3imWeckla. Excellently punishing him there. Good work by Jimmy. Good work. And his Stukas was there. Go Panther from the Comet. That's going to give the Panther maybe some room to hit elsewhere, because the Comet can't respond to it now until it gets fixed up. Though, I mean, double sappers should help, even if one of the sapper sections immediately encountered a lot of rockets. Would you look at that, Sergeant? Fireworks! Get down, Terrence! Oh, damn it, he's dead. They're all dead. Again. Don't worry, Sergeant Yorkshire. It wasn't your fault. Oh, stop doing that! Sorry, I just like to pretend I'm a girl sometimes. Shut up. And he's fixing up the Comet there. Officer setting up, of course, equipped with Bren guns. Worth noting, he only upgrades the officer, not the Commandos. Probably figuring it doesn't matter too much for the officer anyways. We'll have to see either way. Note he's using a lot of ambush, though obviously it only works with 18 cover. There you go, full speed ambush. Got the light gun bomb off here, straight into the midst of them, and kaboom! Huge casualties there, much damage. Germans dropping dead like flies, panthering up the landing. Great hit there. Actually doesn't land a hit at all. Bounces. But there you go, needs to take hits over the Comets and the anti-tank, and they're piercing its 80mm of sloped armor. PX flying at the wrong units, flying at the false units where it does no damage. We've got heat rounds for the Panther though. Technically, Panthers did not use heat rounds. Heat rounds were more like lower velocity guns, so they have a chance of penetrating armor. Panthers would have no need for that. They'd used a slightly higher grade armor piercing round that came down to it. Anyways, what's the negative cover being absolutely cut to ribbons? See, I'm still surprised he hasn't upgraded the section with Bren guns. I mean, that probably cut those false guns to shreds in seconds. Our way, they've got a wipe there, so they no doubt get an extra bonus accuracy of veteran fee. That does make them lethal there, which again, why no Bren guns, 3imWeckla? Why no Bren guns? Anyways, great hit on the Panther 4 heat rounds as well. Also, late model Panther 4s were not used to them either. They were going for the early model Panther 4s. Against the Soviets and Eastern Front, where they were really needed against the early T-34s and KB tanks. Much to the surprise of the Surge when they did begin using it. Alright, Comet holding on. He can go for another. I could go for the Firefly. Those two I think would be a strong choice here versus the Jimmy. I mean, the Crocodile, I mean, is an option, but it doesn't have as much firepower as all the armor here that Jimmy has assembled. It'd be more useful if, say, like Jimmy had gone for a lot of anti-tank weapons and such, but right now his force is much more armor-oriented, so I feel like another Comet or Firefly would be the better choice. We'll have to see, of course, if 3imWeckla is planning for a Churchill. Crocodile is actually going for another Comet or Firefly, but that would definitely be the optimal choice here. I feel like Crocodile again can work, but I feel like it wouldn't be quite optimal. It wouldn't be quite optimal. It's like, you can eat pasta with a spoon, but, why not use a fork or something else? You can do it, but there are better tools for it, in my opinion. There we go, another Panther 4. Bring up a large armoured force again. Again, it's down to that 223 and the fuel harassment. Like, really, this 223 is paying itself off massively for Jimmy. Like, honestly, this is just part of it. And again, theoretically, the Wehrmacht has actually the same thing with the Opel Blitz. Obviously, that's not an armoured car. But, again, being able to secure fuel point and just bring out lots more fuel is, as you can see, pretty handy. Like, Jimmy, 3imWeckla is still struggling to catch up in terms of like numbers, so it's really paying off there for him. Convoying ahead here, engaging the Panther 4. Sapper's routed. Oh, it's shooting white phosphorus to carry out the retreat there. Sneaky. 6 pounder gun covering up here. It does look like 3imWeckla is going to hit for the Crocodile, and that's again not necessarily going to be optimal. Still not if he decides to pop heat rounds and everything, at which point the Crocodile's health total may become less material or necessary or realistic. Because at that point it's going to come down to just like having sufficient firepower and also speed. Comet there gaining actually 2. Very good, increasing accuracy. Definitely bad news for infantry. Stukas is firing here, exposing itself to be honest, but in this case 3imWeckla has no way of punishing. Infantry caught here in a devastating barrage, wiping out the entire section. 3imWeckla definitely needs to be careful that Stukas force needs to somehow hunt it down and take it out there. Jimmy's been making good use of it. There you go. Comet taking heavy hits here, Panther moving forwards. Crocodile is almost available here for 3imWeckla, but really he should be going for something else. Panther 4, they're taking hits. And an anti-tank grenade as well. 6 pounder turning up there. We got more artillery called in here by Jimmy. Very good. Going to clear out the anti-tank gun. Comet trying to get away there. 8 kills, 22 artillery raining down. Anti-tank gun dodges it. Machine guns keeps firing through the explosions. Medics. Medicing. Panther 4 almost down. And there you go. Got the Crocodile out now for 3imWeckla. But there's still a lot of tanks out here from Jimmy. Anti-tank gun cleared out by the Panther's machine guns. In fact, there's nothing else that could have done. And Panther takes it out. Comboing in there, shoots, penetrate the Panther's frontal armor here. Gonna need to fix up that Comet fast. It could pop the vehicle crew repairs. And there you go. Crocodile's about to get swarmed here by the Panther and the Panther 4 here. There you go. Heat rounds popping the Panther. Other Panther 4 need repairs. Now the Crocodile is getting focused down. Panther 4 down to half health. In fact, down to less than half health here. Panther just keeps punching away. There we go. Almost got the Crocodile entirely. Fixing up the Comet. Panther swooping in. Half H-52. Crocodile needs to keep pulling away there. Crocodile, in fact, almost taken out here by the Panther. Not good there for him. And there you go. Comet moving out. Crocodile down. But the main gun now is out on the Panther. Piet's flying there. Shot bounces off the Panther's frontal armor. Comet charging ahead here for 3imWeckla for King and Country. There we go. In the name of King George, that Kraut tank is out. Now the Panther 4 could be next. He has it repaired in a pretty unsafe spot. And there you go. Sturmpani is taking casualties there. Panther 4 can't get out. Its rear is exposed as well. There we go. One more hit and that Panther 4 is likely out of the war as well. Veteran free game. Oh, the Comet misses, but there you go. Pierce flying at it. Tearing off chunks of armor. And there you go. That's another Panther 4 down in the south. Can you fix up the damage? A brutal series of engagements here. Jimmy's still in infantry, but so is 3imWeckla. He still got the Stukas and 1 Panther 4. Of course, he did still lose 2 tanks for 1 Crocodile, which is actually very good in the end. That's a pretty good trade-off short of 3imWeckla. He's shouting down. He could actually take out the Stukas. Of course, need to be careful not to get too aggressive. Like, I think he's lucky there hasn't been laid down any mines for his, tank got stuck here due to a mine. That could be pretty sad. There you go. Going here for the 223. Oh, he's getting flanked here by Panther first. Almost got the 223, but couldn't finish it off there, ensuring that Jimmy's fuel supply continues uninterrupted, undisrupted. Again, that 223 is just really good for him. Panther falling in a few hit rounds, but instead gets pelted with Piats. Need to fix up that Comet soon. Needs to bring up some more armor to back it up. It is very close to Victory 3 though. Also need to grab some of those victory points, keep the bleed up on his opponent. 8 Commandos, Victory 2 offs as well. Glider Barway finally decommissioned. So some brutal engagements here. And certainly again for Jimmy, just losing a Panther and a Panther 4. It's kind of bad, but the 223 helps compensate for it because again of the high fuel income it just brings them.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
There we go, vehicle repairs and Sab's going to work on it. It could do maybe with an extra commander squad, a bit more pressure on Jimmy infantry-wise. We'll have to see. Always just rushing out a crumble or center right now. Could also prove to be possibly effective as is Jimmy. If he had a light gun bomb available, he could probably clear out the full step, not quite. There we go, Comet, good to go. Once more, ready to fight for King George. Once more. Fulton there devilishly sees the sun of victory point. Comet, though, may wipe north on that. And there you got a second Panther here for Jamie. It's actually quite rare to see the Oberkommando going for Panthers at all. I mean, honestly, most of the time I watch them, they just go for Panther 4s. But it seems to be, in this case of the Comet, that Panther actually seems to have some slight relevance. For once. Oh, straight into mine here with the Comet. Bad news. He really needs to get Minesweepers, to be honest. He badly needs Minesweepers. Like, if his tank gets stuck with the damage in the wrong place, that could prove to be very good for Jimmy, but very bad for 3imWeckla. Seems like he's either setting up for another Crocodile, which would be bad, another Comet, or a Firefly. But he definitely needs Minesweepers because I imagine that Jimmy's been mining more and more points here. It's also quite unfortunate for Jimmy, or 3imWeckla's maybe to destroy this ground. They go straight into another mine, like he just fixed it, and then he drives into another mine. I mean, he did get the 223. He did get it, but the problem is now the Panther 4 and the Panther's going to go for it, and the Comet can't get away. Like, it can't even just pop its emergency war speed. Like, it's actually in a bit of trouble there. So this could actually be a moment here where Jimmy might have a chance of really giving 3imWeckla a very, very bad time again. Because on his then going to have 2 tanks versus 3imWeckla's none. There we go. Self-repairs, but the problem is they can easily target through the smoke. Got Pierce opening up there. Almost got the Panther 4 into tank grenades as well. He might get the Panther 4, but he still lost a more or less ace Comet. And his opponent still has a Panther. I mean, he did get the 223, and that will hurt Jimmy, but again, like, it's already in a sense done the harm. I mean, he's just allowed Jimmy to get so many tanks. Which honestly is a bit weird because normally the Oberkommandos are not the faction usually associated with a lot of tanks. But again, that's effectively what the 223 can allow you to do if you just have decent unit preservation. You can actually get a lot of tanks. Another Comet there for 3imWeckla. If only he'd been able to defend his fuel points. Better at least gotten some fuel caches up. But sadly, he did not have access to the 223. And there you go, light gun bomb, the Storm Pioneers trying to get a wipe. Well, folks, going to Storm Pioneers on the other chaps there. Got a concussive grenade off, and he runs straight into it, stunning the entire unit, and the Panther crashes a few while the two trying to figure out what's going on. And now, 3imWeckla is in a pretty tight spot here. As Jimmy and the 12th SS just swoop across the battlefield, though, I mean, Jimmy's forces still have taken an absolute thrashing, but they still have a tank, and the Stukas are first, which is now 21 kills, and Vetsny too. Seizing the northern fuel point. Comet almost done there. Troops being suppressed here, Sappers moving ahead, Panther falling back. Got the Comet out there for 3imWeckla. I'm still surprised we're relying more on PH than anti-tank guns, to be honest. Feels a bit weird. Artillery called in here, forcing the Germans off the northern point. Comet's moving northwards there, clearing out the sandbags. Baker's getting into one there for the Comet. We got the officer moving in there, ace level, 8 kills. Sturm Panic being rowdy. He could try, if he had the munitions like gun bomb. There you go, another Stukas barrage. Probably going to try and clear out those. No, he goes for the Vickers. Ooh, quite a few hits on the officer. Almost taking out the entire unit. Do get a smoke grenade to pop up and cover the retreat, but right now, 3imWeckla is really short on territory. Comet moving in again, going straight for the Panther. Good initial hit. Of course, still needs to be careful not to push luck too far. And there you go, heat rounds on the Panther. Good hit there. Need to get the Comet out of there. 3imWeckla, get out of there. The heat rounds very much shift this engagement in the favour of the Panther. And there we go, looks like 3imWeckla might have pushed luck too far. Shot bounces, and Panther did not. taking out the Comet there. That was definitely a bad call there for 3imWeckla, possibly due to stress there, again, of having an almost good situation, and then all of a sudden he kind of threw it, and now it's Jamie who's in control again. And that might be causing 3imWeckla here to, under sheer pressure, make a few bad calls, like for example, trying to duke it out there with the Panther when it has heat rounds. That should have just been an immediate disengagement and just trying to preserve the Comet there. And he should have waited, I think, for 6-pounder guns just to provide a bit more firepower against the Panther at range there. And now we got here Jamie basically just piling it on. Now going for a Sturmtiger, interesting enough. Figuring his opponent again due to the fuel harassment. Also the fact he hasn't grabbed back his northern fuel point. Doesn't have a lot of resources left, so going for the Sturmtiger to sort of supplement the Stukas of Fuzz and just blasting apart 3imWeckla's infantry and support weapons, I think is a pretty good call here. I mean, this is the sort of situation that, where the Sturmtiger will definitely excel. Now we got the 6-pounder gun, of course, again. Sturmtiger there will be quite great. Also known as the Sturm Mercer, by the way, Assault Mortar. It had a few names, actually.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Sturmtiger, if I recall correct, was first used during the Warsaw Uprising.
Tank gun and crew now
To blast out the resistance fighters there of the Home Army, I believe it was called. And we're up there. And it's going to certainly annihilate something. No, by the way, any actual tanks that were hit by the Sturmtiger's rockets would likely have not been left in much good shape. So what is 3imWeckla going to do? It's obviously going to need a lot of anti-tank guns, and they're going to have to be set up in a particular manner to try and deal with the Sturmtiger, because, I mean, oh, she's going to go down too easily. A few P8s hit there on the Sturmtiger. Shot fired, missed. Got a northern point there with the officer. I mean, he still has 2 Commandos corps in a sense there, but the issue is basically the Sturmtiger right now for 3imWeckla. Few hits there. Another hit there, piercing the Sturmtiger's thick frontal armor. Got the officer with the full of the range. The officer would have a chance. We got here officer charge. Further boosting the firepower against any Germans nearby, and of course any infantry nearby. But the officer's working on his own this time around. He's feeling the time for heroics against the Jerrys. Stuka's 25 kills, ready to fight against him now. Sturmtiger falling a bit back here. Panther flying support. Blast with the main gun, machine gun. Another hit there from the 6-pounder gun on the Sturmtiger. And we actually got a machine gun out now here from Jamie as well. To quite more suppressive fire there as 3imWeckla. Very good. Officer up north needs to retreat. Negative cover is a bad place to be. And there you go. Bren got dropped. And that officer's going to, well, drop dead as well. 3imWeckla seems to be slowly crumbling now. Like a castle with cracked foundation, it is slowly giving away under the sheer, relentless pressure of the Teutonic attacker. Sappers there, blasted a bit there by the Sturmtiger. They did not survive the encounter with the 38mm or centimeter rocket, not millimeters, but centimeters. Obviously a bit of difference in size. 6-pounder gun there, caught by the Panther. And getting focused down by a lot of machine gun fire and assault rifle fire. Definitely a problem there for 3imWeckla. P8 rockets there are flying, or P8 projectiles, probably a better way to put it. Trying to go out and anti-tank and succeeds, but the question is how long that anti-tank is going to last here. Baker's trying to put covering fire here. More P8s flying at the Panther there. Back here, healing reinforcement. 3imWeckla situation remains absolutely precarious. Got another Sturm Pioneer squad. We're going to truck. Probably going to the Battle Group headquarters. To provide healing. It could also serve as a backup plan in case it turns out he needs it. Like, you then go for the King Tiger. If somehow 3imWeckla managed to stage a comeback versus Jimmy, he can actually turn the game around there. Commandos getting crushed beneath the Panther's treads. Getting shot a bit close to 2 down the Panther. 6-pounder gun on the way there. I'll give him 2 6-pounder guns, which will be helpful as the Panther. Doing some nasty damage here. We got 85 points left there for 3imWeckla. Got more artillery here, just further disrupt things there for 3imWeckla. Didn't really do any damage, but might have caused him slightly have to move his things awkwardly to avoid the barrage. Ooh, Stukas was pretty close to the front line.
75 points left.
Technically a small chance of losing it there. More rockets or projectiles flying at the Panther there. Close ability 2 on Schützen. There we go. Schützen added, 20 kills. Got more artillery called in here by 3imWeckla and the British Army. Jürgen finds himself suddenly with some slightly dirty trousers. Light Gambam off. Ooh, could be forced to retreat for the artillery. Could see a casualty there with a bit of bad luck. Or not. Struggles fires again. We got 49 points left here for 3imWeckla and the British Army. Sturmtiger moving up there, ready to fire another deadly rocket. Another 6-pounder gun hit. There you go. Sturmtiger misses. Troops are getting suppressed around it. Almost got the Sturmtiger there, though. Almost, but not quite. Will 3imWeckla try and go for Cromwell or Centaur here? Also, he will actually try and go for that northern field point. I feel like he's starting to suffer from tunnel vision. He focuses too much on the centre victory point and not on the other points as well. Let's see 2 Panther moving ahead. Need to be careful not to place down to take it too forward either, because that could only be just being rushed by the Sturmtiger and losing them. But there you go. Panther taking some hits here from the 6-pounder guns. Shots bouncing this time around. Bit of luck there for Jimmy. 10 points left. The situation is looking pretty grim here for the 11th Armoured Division, or the Guards Armoured. Vic is joining in there. Commandos moving up. 26 kills. Got those hands routed. Repair ponies up. They're hard at work facing up the Sturmtiger and the Panther. Smoke grenade off. Very good. So the victory point secures his man to stop the bleed at 10 points. His opponent's down 147. I'm guessing he's going for another Comet here. We got another Panther 4 there for Jimmy. He's still not grabbed the northern field point, by the way. Feel like that's a definite oversight there by 3imWeckla. Feels like a definite oversight. Panther 4 halfway done. 140 left for Jimmy. Is this something that could be a comeback here for 3imWeckla? Something resembling it? Or is it just a mirage? Commandos slowly dying up. 29 kills. Sturmtiger moving up. Panther almost done as well. And lastly, Jimmy's back in with a sizable Panzer Waffe in this sector. Struggles fires again. Sturmtiger moving ahead. Oh, what? It hasn't been reloaded? Oh, no, he's reloading it. That could be a problem there for Jimmy if anything shoots at it. Sappers versus a lot of German infantry. There you go. Sturmtiger gets abandoned. But what is going to crew it with? It's likely just going to try and destroy it. 129 versus 10. Sturmtiger remains abandoned. Still reinforcing. Commandos rushing the center. We got the forces on the way. 6-pounder gun, they're being flanked. Could try and take out the Sturmtiger, but we got the Sturmhaus machine gun opening up here. We got the Panther forming in as well. Adding a Panther commander, and there you go, full rushing in for the anti-tankers there. Sturmtiger recruit, main gun is out, and there we go, no points left. A loss here for 3imWeckla, victory for Jimmy. A bloody battle here on Vilshanka with some excellent, I think, tactics there from both sides and such, but in the end, it proved to be Jimmy's, I think, was so successful in part because I feel like 3imWeckla at some point should go for double anti-tank to try and destroy that Schwer punted quarter. I mean, that was honestly a pretty risky setup there by Jimmy, and I'm surprised he wasn't punished harder for it. But also just his inability to get rid of that 2-3, and that 2-3 was just huge for Jimmy. Just allowed him to get so many more tanks out faster than 3imWeckla, who comparatively struggled to defend his field point. He didn't do a lot to defend it. Compared to, again, Jimmy, secured and defended it, but also, you know, boosted it with trucks. And meanwhile, Jimmy, or 3imWeckla did nothing to boost his resource. Similarly, that Crocodile, I feel like it's a big mistake. He should have gone for more Comets, or for a Firefly, something with a bit more punch versus all the armor. And even then, I feel like you just try and go for a fast Cromwell. That might also give him, I think, 3imWeckla some good help. But again, just more anti-tank, I think, could also worked out nicely. And minesweepers. I mean, that mine there on the, Comet was, I think, also a really big issue there for 3imWeckla. It pretty much just allowed Jimmy to just move in and clear it out. Had he had 2 Comets at any point, I think that would have been a good chance of 3imWeckla to win. So it was a really close match in times. In the end, 3imWeckla, I feel like he just made a few mistakes. But all I've said, interesting strategy. I think good way to maybe push the British in a new direction using all the Comets and all the officer abilities here. And I think that was really close to winning there. But again, he just kind of undermined himself. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I've learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell friends, tell family. But don't tell your enemies. This is Pro Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope you all tomorrow again for an awesome episode.